Damn it. Here, go here, go here. Okay, stickies. And this. See. Carrot. Y. A. Send that. There. Okay, so let's go over here and go to Zoom. Jesus. Damn it. Shit. want that. Son of a fucking bitch. I can't take this shit much more. Okay? I just fucking can't fucking take it anymore. Fucking pissing me off so fucking much. Ah, oh, geez, Louise. Come on, man. Trust you anymore. No, that's not what I asked you for. Go over here. Put that in there. Send that. Go there. There. Hi, Mary Pat. You want to unmute yourself? Hello? Um, oh, here we go. Can you unmute yourself, Mary Pat? Like down at the bottom on the left-hand side, there's a little microphone. If you click that, it should unmute you. It's not letting me unmute you. Hmm. Okay, there's another person trying to get on, so we're waiting for her. Okay. Hello?
Hi, it's Karen.
Yay!
Is
So,
it
yeah. This is
two participants? Is that you and me, or you have someone else?
Mary Pat is also here, but is not
Okay.
unmuted. She's muted.
Um,
So, um,
I just wanted to say this is a Zoom meeting. I'm using my government laptop. My government does not allow me to use Zoom
oh,
because there's too many security concerns about it.
right.
So I decided I'd call in and listen.
Sure. You can then mute yourself, and I'll go ahead and just get started. Um, and
That'd be great. Here I am.
Okay, lovely. All right,
Yay!
I'm going to go ahead
I'm
and
sorry I can't. I'm sorry I can't see, but that's
no,
okay. Some
no
of
worries.
your participants may be blind in future.
No, no worries. No worries. Oh, look, there's another picture coming. All right, so I'm going to start the recording. There we go.
I'm mute. Right.
Um, Hi, I'm Rita Abrigo, and I'd like to talk to you today about the hero's journey. I'm writing a book right now called Everything I Need to Know I Learned from Science Fiction, mostly. And the theme of the hero's journey is basically the structure of the book, because it's all about the wisdom we've gained from all of our heroes in books and movies and television. And for me, that's mostly the sci-fi genre. So um, the idea of the hero's journey comes from Joseph Campbell's book, The Hero with a Thousand Faces. And in it, he describes the hero's journey from, you know, normal everyday into chaos through an initiation of some sort, a quest of some sort, and coming back um, to where he was, um, having gained something in the process. Um, Joseph Campbell did this in 17 steps, and I'm going to share my screen with you so you can see what I'm talking about here. Let's see. Um, okay, share screen. Yes, share screen. And we're going to go to this one. Okay, so this is the hero's journey in the 17 steps that Joseph Campbell talked about. And it begins here with the call to adventure, the refusal of the call. And if you think in terms of Star Wars, um, the call to adventure comes from the message from Princess Leia that was in R2D2. And when Obi-Wan tells Luke, "You must learn the ways of the Force if you're going to accompany me," and he's like, "No, I can't go. I can't go." That's the refusal of the call. So frequently when the call comes, the hero says, "No, I can't go." Then comes some sort of supernatural aid, and we have the Force and Obi-Wan. And the crossing of the first threshold as you move from your normal world into the realm of chaos, into the belly of the whale and the road of trials, where you meet allies, enemies, and tests. Um, Here it's called the meeting with the goddess, woman is temptress, atonement with the father, apotheosis, and then the ultimate boon, the refusal of the return, and then some sort of magic flight, um, rescue from without, the crossing of the return threshold, and master of both worlds. Having returned from this initiation, the hero is now the master of both worlds. and has the freedom to live a greater life. So in reality, this circle is not really a circle because you never come back to where you started from. You're a different person and your world becomes greater. So this becomes an ever widening spiral every time you step out on that journey. And our brains are basically hardwired for this. There's something in our brains that tells us we have to go out, we have to search for something, we have to find it, we have to acquire it or learn it or be it or do it and come back, right? And this is the way our species evolves. So if we see a story that is presented in movie form or television or book form, graphic novel, what have you, if it doesn't have the elements of the hero's journey, we don't recognize it as a story and we lose interest. So when it comes to our own lives, I'm talking about choosing something you've never done before, moving out of your comfort zone. And it doesn't have to be like climbing Mount Everest. I mean, if you've never been to the movies by yourself, that's a thing that you could do that could make your world greater and your life better and easier. So, the other versions of this 17 steps of the hero's journey, it's been presented in a number of other ways. Where are my pictures? This one. Okay, so it doesn't want to show this page for some reason. New share, please. Yes. Yes. Try that one. Share that one. Okay. So this has been condensed by a number of different people. Let's see. Oh, here we go. This is the one I really want. This. Okay. So this is the 12-step hero's journey as described by Christopher Vogel. And here we start with the ordinary world, the call to adventure, the refusal of the call, the meeting the mentor, crossing the threshold from the ordinary world into the special world, tests, allies, enemies, the approach, ordeal, death, and rebirth, reward, seizing the sword, or whatever the prize is, the road back, the return back to the ordinary world, resurrection, and return with elixir. Now, these are his takes on what these steps are. And it's been further compressed into, let's see, yeah, this one. 8 steps by Dan Harmon, who is the creator of Rick and Morty. And every episode of Rick and Morty is based on this wheel. You start in the zone of comfort. You have a need or desire. You must go into an unfamiliar situation. You adapt to that situation. You get what you sought and pay a price for it. You return to comfort having changed. And again, while episodic television requires that the hero come back to the same place because the characters are not allowed to change that much. I would suggest that in your own life, the idea that it's actually an ever widening spiral is to your advantage because it can enrich your life in ways in which you can't even imagine from where you are right now, but that become obvious once you've taken the steps and gone through the hero's journey in whatever way that you would choose. So maybe you want to make a list of things that would enrich your life, whether it's, you know, going to a park you've never been to, going somewhere that you've always wanted to go to, learning a language, writing a book, publishing a post on Facebook that is of your own origin rather than just sharing someone else's post. Any of those things can be the beginning of the hero's journey. So Dan Harmon took it down to 8 steps. And there's another good, let's see, where's that one? Okay. That one. Yes, that one. Yes. Here we go. So this is basically the Dan Harmon one. You, in your comfort zone, need something. You go, you search, you find, you take, you return, and you're changed. You move from order into chaos, into the unknown, and back to order again. Um, so there is a guy named Donald Miller who, let's see, we'll stop the sharing of the screen. There is a Donald Miller, best-selling author, who is all about marketing, branding, that sort of thing. And he's all about build a story brand. So he's taken the story circle and condensed it down from the 8 steps to 7 steps, which is basically a character has a problem and meets a guide who gives them a plan and calls them to action that helps them avoid failure and ends in success. Now, this is really geared towards marketing and getting your message across in a way that reads as a story. So what I've done is actually condensed it down to like 5 steps that we could, you could complete in a week. 1 step every day. So basically the call to action, overcoming resistance, crossing the threshold, the road of trials, and bringing it home, the master of 2 worlds. So I've put this together in a 5-day challenge. And after this, you'll get an email that will invite you to that if you would like to participate. And each day we'll go through one of the steps. You'll get tools and processes to play with to get clear on what it is you'd like to choose at this time, what it is you're seeking. Then we'll do overcoming resistance. So all of the reasons that you think you can't do that, why you wouldn't do that, why nobody would like it if you did that, we'll clear all of those sorts of resistances and look at any kinds of things that you think are actually obstacles in your way and tools to change that. then they'll be crossing the threshold and actually choosing something out of your list of things that you've created to start on as your hero's journey. Then the road of trials, because things things never show up the way you think they will. So again, more tools to navigate what shows up. And what if, because it never shows up the way you think it will, you could ask, what's right about this I'm not getting? Or is this what I've been asking for showing up in a way that I'm just not recognizing? And then the fifth day is really coming back to yourself and acknowledging yourself for being willing to take a step into a greater world and to actually be the hero of your life, whatever that means for you and however that begins to unfold for you. So I invite you to join me for a 5-day challenge next week, one step of the journey every day, and we'll have a Zoom in which we can actually have a back and forth, I think better than we're doing today. So does anybody have any questions about this? Or if you could have anything out of this session today, what would it be? I don't know if anybody can answer me, but you know.
I don't have any questions, Rita. Thank you.
Okay. Awesome. So if there's no questions, I just want to leave you with the idea that Helen Keller said, life is a daring adventure or nothing. So what would it take for you to choose to live your life as an adventure? Whether you choose to take the course with me or not, just choose you. Choose bigger, choose greater, choose what will be enriching, fulfilling, fun for you, and live a bigger life as the hero of your life. Thank you so much for being with me today. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Thank you, Rita.